Hello and welcome to the Horror House Podcast. I'm Dave.
I am Chris. We're two dudes that like to talk horror from movies to real life. And this week we're talking about a little movie from 1999, Idle Hands. And let's just fucking get into it. Actually, let's not get into it. First, we have some business to discuss.
Oh, okay. Hit me up.
We are on the YouTubes now, so go follow us, subscribe to us, comment, like us. I don't know the whole jargon yet. We're new tubers in that regard, but we're on there. So
You don't get to see our beautiful faces yet. This is still an audio podcast we're putting up. It's just a new way to listen at this point. But if it gets a good response, Chris, who knows what the future holds?
Yeah. So we're starting with the beginning of season 5 this season of the show and uploading those episodes. But we're rapidly approaching season 6, and let us cook.
Full speed ahead.
Yeah. So give us a good old follow over there, and we'll still be uploading everywhere you're already listening. But this is in addition to thanks Spotify.
Yeah, we'll be still uploading to Spotify for now.
They don't care for smaller shows. They don't give a shit. And you know what? That's fine. We don't need them either. We'll do our own.
I'm pretty sure Spotify pays Joe Rogan $1 for every time someone listens to our show. So fuck
what
those
a
guys.
contract. I'm not going to sign onto your platform unless you pay me for the listens of other shows. That sounds so Joe Rogan. That could...
Yeah. No, he's in on that.
You should
shit.
send an email to Snopes or Snoops. Is it Snopes? Snoops? What's the actual...
Snopes, the
Yes,
fact checker
and
people.
just to get that like out in the world, out moving.
I should just. Yeah. Dear Snopes, is it true that Joe Rogan sucked off the Heinz ketchup air in exchange for a Spotify contract?
John Kerry's wife.
Holy fuck.
But yeah.
I guess Joe Rogan's never coming on the show, Chris. Put him on the board.
My heart is more broken than something that's barely broken. Something that's...
He can come on the wrestling show still. How's that?
Does he like wrestling?
He can come on. He does the UFC shit, and he's a pretty good fucking commentator, I have to say. He might be...
I've seen some weird things when it comes to UFC, like real combat sports, and how some of them react to wrestling or their opinions of it. Some of them are cool with it, and some of them are like, it's, shit's fake. It's like, yes, it's fake. You're forced through the trees, brother.
Of course. Yeah. Aid your point.
But that said, let's get into talking about Idle Hands. Had you seen this before the show?
Have I seen this before? Yes. I used to partake of the marijuana.
Dave.
And of course, this is like required viewing. Don't do drugs, kids. There. It makes it all better as long as I say that.
And don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, this is if you're like horror and you like the weed, how did you not watch this movie? So
I partaked in it, but I was never like a big weed dude. But I mean, still at the time, there was a lot of weed movies. This being one of them.
Sure.
But
the 90s was kind of lousy with it.
This was horror, man. This was fucking something. I was surprised, really, looking at some of the reviews online now. It's kind of average. It's kind of middling. I'm kind of shocked, really. I didn't expect it to be topping the ratings off 10 out of 10s down the board, but there's some real middle of the road reviews.
The real question, Chris, is like, is this your first Devon Sawa movie, or was it Final Destination?
You don't want to answer to this.
Well, I mean, they're only a year apart, so. Or are you going to tell me, like, no, Dave, it was Night of the Twisters, 1996, and it's still his best movie?
I want to say my first Devon Sawa movie was Casper.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Whatever year that was, 90, who knows, with Christina Ricci and... Oh, it was 1995. It was only 4 years before that. But, yeah, I mean... a child star, essentially, and then here he is, like the biggest pothead you could imagine, and he's great. I mean, he's in the new Chucky series that I've not watched yet. Devon Sawa's got his horror cred, and he really, I feel like, got it with this, in my opinion. Like he killed it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this, a year later, Final Destination, which is classic. Jackie just recently went through all of the Final Destinations, and those are classic movies. You can argue some of the quality as they went along, but you can't argue, like, the first couple are fantastic.
Yeah.
I tried to find, because I always try to find an adjacent movie to what we're doing, and I tried to find Death Rider in the House of the Vampires because the trailer looks fucking awesome, and I could not find it anywhere. So
I don't even. What is that?
I don't. It's like a cowboy vampire fucking movie that he's in.
The Devon Sawa. Oh yeah.
Yes, written and produced by Glenn Danzig.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing, but he's got, Devon Sawa, Danny Trejo. It looks. I thought what little I could find of it. I think it sounds really interesting.
It's nowhere to be found.
I couldn't find it anywhere, and it's clearly like a titty movie. Like I'm not saying it's only titties, but they're not afraid of titties, and that's that's refreshing.
I'm just. What were we talking about with Jeff in the menu at the end of it? Good movie, but no tits.
Good movie, no tits. Yes. So, Death Rider in the House of the Vampires.
Sure.
Okay, movie, nice tits. It gets a bump in the ratings. So, he was also in Black Friday that came out just a couple years ago, and it was pretty great in that. I thought that was a fun movie. It's not like serious horror. It doesn't always have to be serious. That's fine. I thought Black Friday was fine.
As we're talking about tonight with Idle Hands.
Right.
And we were just talking a couple weeks ago about Return of the Living Dead and how annoyed that movie made me with its comedy. And here we are, another comedy horror movie that, I mean, it's got the horror. It goes hard on its comedy too. Very different comedy. But I'm not constantly like, God, can this just be over?
No, but I mean, Idle Hands is actually good comedy.
Yeah.
So,
according to us, 'cause, like I said, some of the reviews are not great reviews, which boggles my senses.
If you asked Seth Green, he probably would tell you it's pretty good.
He better.
And I'm sure he would be unbiased. Yeah.
there's one.
No boobies.
No boobies.
No boobies.
There's boobies.
Right? Do we get
the making out Kiss members? In the
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
It's very quick.
I forgot.
But
yeah, I mean, and they're nice, but I mean, you got Jessica Alba, man.
has she ever done that? Because
I don't think so. I think like Dark Angel was probably the closest we ever got. Maybe this, but Jessica Alba's badass, man.
Kind of speaking of that, there was an original or an alternate ending that took place. She finds herself in a pool area. Did you see it?
Yes, I did. I watched that for this. And with the pool turns into the gate of hell, and
it's so different than what they ended up with. It pushes more horror and like spectacle, which is like 180 what's actually in the movie. But it's almost like they were like, you know what? We have Jessica Alba and we're not putting her in the skimpiest clothes we can. We need to reshoot this ending. And so they did. And success. They did it.
Yeah, they she's kind of plays dummy in this, and I'm not one to nitpick. I mean, she's a badass. But that's why I like Jessica Alba. And then this is not my favorite Jessica Alba, because she is kind of ditzy, dumb, like she's oblivious to what's going on, kind of. Until her friend gets, mutilated by the fan, which are these? I've lived 48 years of my life almost, Chris. And 48 or almost 49, almost 49 years of my life. And I've never seen these giant fucking fans that pop up in movies and cut people to ribbons. But anyway, that's a sidetrack. Like, I prefer my Jessica Alba like an ass kicker, like a fucking Dark Angel, man. That's my girl.
My dad used to have a shop fan that it could have took somebody out, or at least severely damaged somebody. And
I've seen the big shop fans. My dad was a mechanic as well, and I've seen those big shop fans.
Any kind of guard? Because they're kind of close. They were at least close in age. Because my dad's had like no safety guards whatsoever. Every time you plugged it in, you're like, "This could be my end."
this could be the end of it. Sorry.
So it's worth the risk. I either die or I get cooled off a little bit.
Yeah, I think my dad's probably did. I mean, he made his living that he was a mechanic for a long time, and built demo cars and built race cars and late models, and so yeah, I think his probably had the cover on it, but I don't know. I know it had gigantic metal fucking blades, so like, yeah, you were losing a limb. I don't know if you were just getting vaporized by it, but you were gonna lose a hand if you stuck it in there.
That thing's crazy. But also, the rope pulling her back up, like, I ain't no psychologist or nothing, but I don't think that's how that works, Dave.
Okay. Big question. If that's really pulling her up and it's so deadly of a fan, why didn't the fan cut the rope?
Right?
Maybe I missed something. Maybe I had a contact buzz from watching the movie.
But I think my one nitpick is like, so a shoe stops it, but like her bones don't, or her muscles and all that business inside like that. But still,
her cheap Halloween costume high heels with the little fluff on the front stopped it.
But this leads to Mick and Nub. And Nub's all dejected. He's like, I was going to get some. And then Mick's like, do you want to go back and get a piece?
Yes. Well, I was okay with that joke. Yes, I'm fine with that.
He laughed
Yeah.
at his own joke, which I live my life that way. But that was funny, and he deserved to laugh at his own joke. And if that didn't get this movie 9 out of 10 stars from some of these reviewers, then they can fuck off. I said what I said.
Yeah, I mean,
They can meet me out there. Catch me outside.
Fuck them. Fuck them. How about that? Let's see. We have in this movie the hand model of a horror period. Christopher Hart, which I never really looked into, like, who played the hand? Because okay, but now we're doing a podcast. Now I need to do some of those things. And
assumption it was
he played the hand in this,
but I never looked it up until the podcast.
Yeah, it's the Addams Family guy. So he's that. He had an episode of Angel, the TV series. I wasn't a big Angel guy, that wasn't my thing. But a wonderful horror hand model. I don't know if he's still around. If he dies, hopefully they cut off his hands and like do a bronze cast for his, cemetery.
He does a great job.
Marker.
I don't know. I'm still kind of in awe of some of these effects that are literally just a hand. I'm like, how did they cut the body out of the scene? Obviously CGI, but was CGI so good that it makes me wonder if the hand was animatronic? Like, it just blows my mind sometimes in some of these shots.
Sure. So, for comparison, and I'm only bringing this up because, one, we should do it on the show next season.
Okay.
Hint, hint. And two, Stella was watching this when I got up this morning because she had woke up a little bit before the alarm got up and put on a movie. But just 2 years prior to Idle Hands, which, again, this is a horror comedy. You can't tell me this had a big budget. But you can tell me 2 years before this, Spawn was a big budget movie. And the CG in Spawn is so shit.
Yeah.
But Idle Hands in that, it looks great. It looks good.
Even, like, there's a few shots with Nub's severed head that have, I want to say it's just his face, like his real face CGI'd on top of it, like a replacement kind of thing, and not the whole head. I could be wrong. Let us know, Rabble. But like even those, like you can tell they're CG, but they're not like offensive CG.
No, I think it's passable.
Plus, I mean, if you were stoned when you watched it.
Oh yeah, the game over. I like the scene where he eats the burrito and it comes out of his neck.
There's some good effects in this movie.
So good. Yeah, I will tell you my problem with this movie, Chris. And my problem is
I won't stand for this, Dave.
And it's when they open
for this.
It's when they open the microwave and the hand rocket flies out of the
right
microwave across the room and out the window. Like, did it? How? Like, that's not how hands work.
Have you never been propelled by evil in your life?
Only when Stella really wants something. Then she's like, this is what I want. This is what we're going to do. And I'm like, yes, ma'am.
I got stuck.
They shall die. Burn, motherfuckers.
I got stuck in a little traffic jam not too far from your house a couple days ago, waiting for a semi who went down the wrong road and had to fucking turn around our little country ass roads.
Oh my God.
Back up. There was an old man in the car in front of me, got out. And I'm pretty chill and relaxed, but I had my window down and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was almost propelled by evil towards an old man because road rage is really getting out of hand these days. Is the story I'm telling. But propelled by evil, I surely could have been. If I'd went a little bit harder, if he'd have fucked around some more, I would have went out that window like the hand out of that microwave. But I do.
I'm glad you didn't. He might have Bob Barkered you like the price is wrong, bitch.
I bite. I will bite the flesh off of his face. But I do agree. Like, what? Everything else is kind of, well, I mean, there's some things we could go deeper on, but that for sure is kind of what?
Yeah, and I'm really just teasing. Like, I'm okay with it. This is a comedy, so you can take some license. Like, I'm okay with that. My sense of realism and like that's not real is very much non-consistent. Like, I'll be like, Mario's an Italian plumber, and he doesn't even speak Italian. Like, that's bullshit. But then I'm like, Bruce Lee just threw a jump kick and over the Grand Canyon and floated across the Grand Canyon and kicked somebody in the fucking teeth, and then backflipped all the way back in one smooth move. Yeah, sure. It's Bruce fucking Lee. Yeah, I can do that.
I was on board with you till you said he floated back, and then I'm like, no, hold on. That feels like a one-way trip to me. Speaking as a
he could jump across the Grand Canyon, but how did he make it back? He was
clearly stronger than I want to acknowledge right now.
Your kung fu is strong. I liked the. Oh
no, go ahead.
I liked Seth's thing too, with the fucking beer bottle in his head, and it was kind of dumb, but I'm there for it when he like gets caught on the vent grate or the doorway or something. He hits, and then he's like, I mean, clearly it's not stuck on anything, but I'm there for it. I'm like, idiot.
When they were in the ductwork, the
ductwork,
and Nub's makeup, the hand, the different phases it goes through. That's another thing that we kind of don't talk about a whole lot, but they went with a kind of a style. It's kind of stylized, and their approach is not cartoony, but like it all fits into idle hands, and I like that kind of thing. So it feels. Sure. I said this with video games too. Like if they try to make something that looks realistic, in 10 years it's not going to look realistic anymore. So you might as well put some style on it, and then it can be timeless. And I feel like that's what this is. And the makeup is just. It's all good. Like when the hand is sharpening its fingers in the pencil sharpener, genius.
Yes,
and
that's
another phase of the hand. Like I don't know how many phases the hand goes through, like three or four. And it's fucking cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I thought that was a cool thing where it just captures that evil. The hand, I mean, like, how much damage can one hand do? It racks up a pretty good body count.
Before the movie gets started, it's already sitting pretty in the news with like fucking 4 or 5. I don't know how many kills it had.
At a minimum, too. At a minimum, the parents,
just from Anton,
the parental units were dead. So
once it finishes its work with one hand, it moves on, right? So I mean, who knows?
Right.
God, there's so much to talk. This is going to be like Return of the Living Dead for me, where there's so much I want to talk about, but by the end, I'm like, fuck, we've missed this and we've missed this. I have 2 favorite jokes in the movie. Very quick jokes that I have to talk about. One, Go Buffalo. And I've laughed at that since I fucking first saw it, because it's like, what does that mean? Why is that here when Anton kills the police, and then Nub is like, go Buffalo? It's just fucking funny. It doesn't have a reason to be funny. It just is funny, and every time it happens, I laugh.
It's one of those things like especially if you're stoned, it's like it seems totally random, which makes it funnier. But according to the IMDb and according to some things I read, so it wasn't just IMDb, it was something else I read online. Like that was a reference to a deleted scene where the two cops, were the Buffalo mascot when they were all in high school, and those were the cops were the losers in their high school.
And
it's a reference to that, which only makes it better.
Yeah,
I feel like, but
it still is just top-notch randomness, and that I wasn't even stoned laughing at it.
No.
Back in the day, but so there's that. I love that. And then the other one is when Anton kind of rises to the occasion finally, and he's like, Mick is like, you need some Anton time. He's like, fuck that, fuck pot. I'm gonna have to do something. And Mick is like, stop, fucking no speech. We'll just go. And stops the speech immediately, and that gets me deep because every time something like that starts to happen in a movie, I'm like, just shut the fuck up. And here they nailed it. He's like, no.
What?
We'll just go.
What was the name they gave the pipe built out of a fucking muffler at the end? They gave it a name, and
Mighty
I can't
Joe
remember
Bong.
what it was. Yes. Oh, yes.
I'm saying I built that.
Oh, my
God. It's like, fuck you, you built that.
Right. Yeah. Back in the day, a friend of mine, Andy, worked in was in the machine shop, and I think in like fucking high school, or maybe it was his first job, he like cleaned in the machine shop, but he definitely made us a pipe that we called the fucking Black Widow, but it was basically like a small metal box, and it had 4 jointed black legs. So it only had 4, like, so much for an anatomical accuracy, Andy. But it had 4 plastic jointed arms come out of it, and then it had a bowl for like the head. And definitely you at least needed 2 people to hit it, because you had to like close off the others for hitting it at least. But you could have like 3 people and 1 person use it as a carburetor. You could have 4 people hit it. You could have 2 people hit it, and you're each using 1 as a carburetor. Oh my God, it hit so hard. It's hit so fucking hard back in the day. But every time you would hit it, like your mouth and your fingers would be coated with, it would feel like waxy or slimy for a while, for a long time. And someone finally got around to asking Andy, like, what the fuck is wrong with this? He's like, oh, that's probably the parts cleaning solvent from the inside of the fucking thing. No wonder it was hit so hard. We're smoking fucking cleaning detergent shit.
Laced with cleaning stuff? Automotive cleaning stuff?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, absolutely. 100. Oh my God. Oh, that thing was. But that's what Mighty Joe Bong reminded me of. I've been there with the fucking machine shop pipe.
Like anybody that was in or had friends that were kind of stoners, there was always that like one bong. Granted, ours was not anywhere near what you just described. We had ours was my cousin had somehow fashioned a bong out of a empty jar of pickled bologna that he was really proud of, and he melted the lid and like the bowl so it would screw in and out. He totally did it by accident, but it was very impressive for the time for a bunch of like 15-year-olds. So yours was laced with automotive cleaner. Ours was laced with pickled bologna, which I've never even tasted.
I don't know which is worse. I mean, hell, it might be the fucking bologna.
What's wrong with me to this day? So in the comments, go ahead and let us know what kind of bong you had.
Yes, let's get that going.
Be curious. Do that. Let's do that.
Hashtag Mighty Joe Bong.
And since moving on from that, we got Jack Noseworthy back, who we went hard talking about Jack Noseworthy before we started the episode, but we just talked about him a few weeks ago.
Hard.
In the Event Horizon. And here he is again. I really liked his character in this because I was a hairball dude at the time. And in some ways still am. But there he was listening to Shout at the Devil and like wearing a Quiet Riot shirt.
The Quiet Riot t-shirt,
he was super misogynistic. And found out that Tanya was his real life half sister or something like that. I think that was the case. Which is super cool. Also, he's gay, which we didn't mention or even know, which is cool. But when you've seen somebody for so long and like somehow that fact isn't present for your knowledge of them, when you do find it out, you're like, are you for real? Because I had to immediately look it up and yeah, he's
I swear I looked him up for the Event Horizon episode. And like, that's fine. Just look at his filmography and just I'm like I'm not stalking his private Facebook page or something. Just looking him up for the episode. Never once mentioned. That's fine. That's like why? Why does that have to be a defining characteristic? But suddenly I look him up for this, and IMDb's like, "Are you sure he's a flaming homo?" And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, IMDb? Yeah. I mean. Damn, okay, let the guy live his life.
Mandela effect because like I've always enjoyed him, and here like out of nowhere it just seemed like that was a fact that sprung up, and I'm like, there's no way that this is a fan like being weird or something. But no, he is more kill it, Jack Noseworthy. But it blew my mind.
Yeah, you do, man. I'm proud of you.
And I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm trying to defend my stance.
We've got
for thinking he was not gay and not being surprised that he is gay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be as least homophobic sounding as possible. It was just a surprise. Leave me alone. It was just a surprise. It was a surprise. Not in a bad way.
It's okay, Chris. It's okay, Chris. Nobody's judging you.
I swear.
That's okay. We have a couple people, Sean Whalen and Slotnick from Twister. So, I mean, clearly this is a Twister sequel. Is that what we decided?
Roughly. I mean, it could go either way.
I mean, Twister was released 2 years before this, but this could be a prequel. They could be like, there was an evil hand killing people in my town. I'm not going to waste any more time at Jungle Bungle. I'm gonna move on and chase tornadoes for a living. That's probably safer than living in this shitty ass town.
I mean, Sean Wallen does die in this though. He gets tasered to death. So this would have to be a sequel then, right? Or maybe we can go twin brother route.
Oh, that is very Bing Rings Day of the Deadish for you. So okay, great. Yeah, I'm down. We can do either way. Also, Beer Fest.
Yep.
What is it? Is it Broken Lizard?
Or is that their names? I forget. It's been so long.
So
I remember watching that and being like, they killed that guy. He was like my favorite dude in this. He's like the funniest guy. And then
they killed Favre
again. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm his twin brother. I'm like, this is too much.
Yes.
You've jumped the shark twice to cancel out that you jumped the shark. And I can respect that. If nothing else.
Yes. Hey. They're like, we jumped the shark. That's okay. We're going to double down. Yep. Good on you. I'm there for it. We also have Timothy Stack as Principal Tidwell, which he's been in so much fucking shit. He's just been all over the place. But the big thing we talked about pre-show tonight, it was Parker Lewis Can't Lose. A highly underrated show, in my humble opinion. So thank you. So
And
and officially a member of the Night Court family.
I love Night Court.
So
I fucking love Night Court.
yeah, yes. I think the only like 80s sitcom we've talked about more than Night Court is probably Cheers.
Speaking of Cheers, do you know there's a new Frasier series coming? I just saw the trailer for it today. Niles isn't in it.
Yeah, of course, because he got arrested. He's a fucking serial killer.
True.
So I feel like that just canonizes a Perfect Host as part of the Cheers universe.
You may be right. But along with Dick Dietrich, we got a little Connie Ray, who's been in also a ton of stuff, playing Anton's mom, and Fred Willard, who's been in a ton of stuff, playing Anton's dad, for the intro of the show. And I mean, they kill it. Everybody kills it in this movie.
Without like being funny.
Yeah.
Fred Willard would be my pick like for Hollywood Dad.
They fit so well as the parents. It was
yeah.
Like the little conversation they had before shit starts to go down is so just like parenty. They killed it. And there's a few more cameos. The Offspring are in this. But God,
Tom DeLonge from Blink 182. Let's not gloss over the star of this fucking movie. I mean, because I had forgot he was in this, and so when I'm watching and then they're playing it, I'm like, is that Tom fucking DeLonge? It is. What a career this guy has had. Like, I mean, because so I looked it up. Blink 182's first album, according to the wiki. So they may have released some fucking garage shit before that, but 1995.
Really? Wow.
4 years later, yeah. So 1995. But I think there was Enema of the State. That's their big boy. Like, you know, I think Dude Ranch got $1 million in sales. Enema of the State was 15 million, 4.6 US. So that was really the blow up. Which was in 1997. Enema of the State 1999. So I mean, he went from that Blink 182 fucking punk rock to starring in this offbeat stoner comedy. Okay, easy. That's an easy jump to make, right? But look at him now. He's like one of the premier UFOologists in the country, and I will fight anybody who disagrees.
You're right.
I'm surprised when David Grush was on Capitol Hill, he didn't like. Before I answer that question, Congressman, I want to shout out to my friend Tom DeLonge. Whoa, what's my age again? So, oh my God.
And he's back with Blink 182. They're making so much money right now on their.
Oh yeah, time is a flat circle, man. It's time is irrelevant. Time and money.
Show me a reunion tour that's never not made $1 bazillion. Something about it's people's juices on fire.
Right. I mean, dig up John F. Kennedy, put him in a fucking hearse, and people are going to come from miles around the scene. Or hearse limousine. I'm sorry, that was in poor taste. Put him in a fucking convertible limousine. Yeah, you got people lined up around the block.
Limousine on fire. And there you have it.
Yeah. You could sell enough tickets to see him to fill a book depository.
We're gonna have to do that show someday. The real life horror episode of that, just to see I used to have a substitute teacher that would always show us Kennedy assassination videos. He's arrested. He's for sure arrested and dead by now.
Oh yeah, he was probably at January 6th.
But I would be curious to see what some of the modern ideas are around that. But anyways, any other things?
I'm down the rabbit hole. Chris, I am down the rabbit hole on TikTok. There is people currently producing a fuck ton of John F. Kennedy shit. And I'm there for it, man. And even they have brought up my favorite conspiracy theory, which ties to JFK. It's the Dr. Mary's Monkeys conspiracy. Yeah, and I've told you about how bonkers that is. And this video is like, you watch one TikTok and you're like, you're right, that's fucked up. I believe it. I mean, okay.
That's all it takes.
Idle hands.
Any other thing you want to go over with the movie before we get out of here? We've went hard on this one. I feel like we've missed so much, but we've still hit like most I think that we wanted to. Time will tell if we'll have to ever come back and visit it again.
Almost every show we've ever done, I've either come away with immediately, or if I've like heard a clip later down the road, thought, why didn't I say that? Or I forgot to say this. This will be no difference. So maybe when we make Jeff Bezos kind of money and we buy Spotify, maybe we'll actually do those episodes and put them out.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Right after we fired Joe Rogan.
Until then, let's do our overalls before we get out of here. Dave, why don't you go first?
Okay. This number one. This movie was fun. What have I said a million times? The main objective of these movies should just be to entertain. Was I entertained when I watched Idle Hands? Yes. Resounding yes. It is funny. It is stoner horror, and I don't watch a lot of stoner horror. I don't know that they really make stoner horror like they used to. And so I feel like, I feel like maybe this is something that could come back, like the stoner horror trend, because things just come cyclically, and so maybe it's time for that again.
Like Full Moon's Evil Bong, which like the first one was kind of funny, but then I mean they're not like the funniest writers.
Pick Up Destiny, which is not horror, but is great. I love the Sasquatch song. But like stoner, I feel like there aren't a lot of stoner comedies right now, and maybe just because I'm not a stoner anymore. I gave up the pot needles and never looked back. So, although the other day when I had the house to myself, I might have hit a Delta 8 cigarette, Chris, and I was feeling pretty good. So, I should have watched this then, and I was feeling good enough that I was like, not even thinking about that. So maybe I would have scored this a little bit higher. I'm afraid you're going to be a little upset, but I got to be me, and mostly my scoring is still mostly arbitrary. 5 seasons in, it's just like, how do I feel at the time we're doing the show?
Same. And
I said 7.5. I don't think that's a bad score. But I feel like it's low for me, so I feel like I have to like defend myself. This is a good movie. It's absolutely worth a watch. It is absolutely entertaining. But if you're not into that kind of slacker stoner comedy, then you may not like it. And the horror is legit enough, but it's that cartoonish kind of horror, cartoonish violence. So it may not be everybody's bag, but I was highly entertained. I gave it a 7.5.
Well, you're not going to believe this. I guessed 7.5. And I wrote next to that, if this is right, I'm going to cancel this podcast.
Oh, shit. It's over.
Damn.
It's over.
I'll tell you my score up front, too. I gave it a 7.5. So we're right there. Which is a little lower than I would have originally guessed either of us would have gave it. But, I mean, I'd just kind of go with, how do I feel about the whole thing? And then just base that in numbers, which is goofy as shit. But like, if I can't feel that number a bit higher, like in any kind of factoring into my brain, then that's it. But this movie, like everything we've talked about, I wasn't big into pot. I had my fair share, but it still works not being a pothead. And I was a sophomore in high school when this came out. So this was one of the few horror movies that I actually felt like I could go to school the next day and see people like that at school. So that was kind of a cool thing to have, like, watching Return of the Living Dead for me, even though it was like youth oriented, I didn't get that vibe from it because I was watching it 10 or 15 years later. So I did connect with it on a different level because of that. But I mean, it's not telling an amazing story. The story, it gets you from point A to B to C, and it's a pretty cooking movie. It doesn't slow down really, hardly, other than maybe tell a joke. And I don't feel like they were trying to make a 10 out of 10 movie. So it does what it set out to do, I think. And everybody was great in it.
I think so. I think that I agree. It probably met expectations.
And what if Thing from Adam Sandler was super evil and also horny? And there you have Idle Hands.
That's great. That's another. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened a few times where we have a confluence of scores. So 7.5 for you, 7.5 for me. That makes the average real hard to work out. A 7.5.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. If you have, go ahead.
I was getting ready to lead us down that road. I know where you're going. Do it.
All right. If you have comments, if you disagree, if you agree, if you want to tell us how smart and amazing we are, or how dumb we are, tell us how stoned you are, or tell us the name of your pipe and give us a little description of what your unique smoking habits were.
Mighty Joe Bong.
Tell us your Mighty Joe Bong stories on the Twitters. Fuck you, I'm not calling it X. On the Twitters at Sweetness1 with 6 E's, or at Horror House 2, because there are two of us.
Email us horrorhousepodcast@gmail.com, or go to the Horror House page on Facebook.
You can look for us on Slasher, Horror House Dave, moi, or Horror House Chris. Remember, Slasher is the social media platform for horror fans.
And last but not least, like us, favorite us, share us, and we're on YouTube now. So check us out on there, and we'll be doing more as time goes on, as we get closer and closer to season 6 of Horror House.
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share. If this goes well, then maybe we'll do some more. Maybe we'll add the video component, or or slideshows or something. Tell us what you think. So,
but until next time, I don't know what we're doing next week.
I,
Oh yes, I do.
I thought we did, Chris.
Do you got a hint? You got a hint to drop?
No, because I don't. I know we picked something. I picked something.
It is a throwback that I'm surprised we've not talked about yet, because it is a certified classic.
Is it a fiendish movie? Is it fiendish?
Fiendish?
No. Okay. Yeah. Fiend. Okay. No. Okay. I don't fucking know. Okay. And I'm sure. I guarantee I picked it last week. So there's that. So I guess I'll find out at the same time you will, Rabble. That's
before we leave, Dave. I kindly direct your attention to the Discord.
Okay. Let's see.
Let's listen to his reaction.
Come on, my mouse is fucking dumb.
Listen to his reaction. Any second. Do you remember now? Is it
the picture of the whale sucking off a shark?
No. And the other one, the context for that is non-existent. I don't even remember what
let's see. I think that was, we were talking about Loch Ness Monster or some shit and whale penis.
Nessie thing. That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Do you see?
You know how much we like to talk about our whale penis. I don't know, man. I'm in the fucking
discussion. Go up.
Oh, rabble discussion. Okay. Oh.
There we have it. He's found it.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, I got you. All right. Whoever picked this one was a real radical dude. Let's see. Let's give you a hint. Former Colts wide receiver Reggie Wayne might be a big fan of this one. What kind of hint is that?
There you have it. Until next time. Until next Whorehouse. We will be back here in a week. Same cemetery, different grave.
We went off the rails here at the end, but thanks for sticking around.
Whale penis.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the Whale Penis Podcast.
Somebody's like, I don't know how I made it through this entire episode, but I don't know that I want to come back to next week if it's going to be shark biting a whale penis. Or a whale biting. Wait. Anyways.
I think the picture you sent me was a killer whale giving head to Loch Ness Monster. And now we're on a watch list.
Hey, there's worse lists.
Sure. We could be on a do not watch list. Oh! I don't even know what that means.
Got us? Got them?
Got us. See you later, guys.